Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of 161st and River. Hopefully, this will provide a more stable connection. It looks like it will. I have my iPad next to me to make sure that you guys can see this content. Sorry that my other streaming app wasn't working. We're on here now. So we'll get right to the chase. I'm going to recap everything that's gone on in Yankee Land over the past week or so. I guess this is there we go. So first we're going to start off with Monday. We get word that Paul Goldschmidt had some back issues, back tightness. He has zero concern about ready for opening day. He was supposed to be back in the lineup between yesterday and today. He has not been in the lineup yet. Goldschmidt, met with reporters earlier in Lakeland or in Tampa, rather, saying that he will be in the lineup tomorrow, expects to get 4 starts. Jack Curry then, okay, I have some breaking news. Dom Smith has opted out of his contract with the New York Yankees. So there's some breaking news. We got word that he had just been scratched from the lineup. Robert Murray with the breaking news. Hold on. Dom Smith has opted out of his contract by Robert Murray. So we'll talk about that in a second. So Dom Smith is no longer a New York Yankee. Let me just get something in there. So that's going to shake up a little bit of some things. Oh, jeez. I didn't realize I was sharing the whole screen. All right, hold on. So Dom Smith is no longer a New York Yankee. They just replaced him in the lineup. He had a great spring, so that's kind of a surprise, but it's also not because of how left-handed the Yankees are. And Ben Rice kind of does the same thing, and the Yankees want to ride with Ben. So I get it. It's sad because I feel like Dom was really good in the spring. Had some clutch hits. Maybe I'm sure someone on Yankee Twitter is going to put up a Dom Smith thing, his highlight video, and I think that's a lot. But I'm putting this out now. So if you don't follow me, I do put out alerts. I'm normally second to people, but I do put them out in case you want to follow me on Threads, Facebook, or X. My handle is right there on the screen. So that's out now. Dom Smith is opted out. The Dom Smith era is over with the New York Yankees. Yu Darvish will open the season on the IL. That also just came out. So yeah, I guess some information today's opt-out weekend anyway. I mean, we all kind of had to expect it, that he was opting out of his contract. And he was scratched against the Tigers. I don't know where he's going to end up, but he's definitely done. So, back to this. Paul Goldschmidt out as of the lineup, and he should be back in tomorrow, they're saying. Paul's saying, so we'll see. Yankees got walked off. Ligon didn't come back. That's that. They tied on Tuesday. Loud contact. Judge had this double that was super duper encouraging. And, I like to see that from Judge. And, impressive by Aaron Judge. He looked very good this week. He walked twice yesterday, and I'm going to get to yesterday in a minute. I'll get to yesterday's game in a few minutes, and I do have takeaways from said game yesterday. Max Fried looked really good. This is his final line from Tuesday's game against the Boston Red Sox. And if you remember, the Boston Red Sox were very hot after him in free agency this past offseason. And it really came down to the Yankees, the Red Sox, and the Texas Rangers. And the Yankees went the extra year and thus got him. So he went 4 1/3 innings, 2 hits, 0 runs, 3 strikeouts. Very good. Then, special little video. Joe Torre. So Joe Torre comes out, gets him. Yankee legend John Smith is laughing. So that's cool. Volpe has had a shockingly very good week offensively. He had a home run yesterday. He had that double. He had 2 hits yesterday, an infield single. Tie the Red Sox. Then they played the Philadelphia Phillies. And Stroman started against Philadelphia, went 3 innings, gave up 1 hit, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, no earned runs. That's good. Yankees blew the Phillies out. Here are some highlights from that game while I talk about the Yankees win against the Phillies. It was an offensive explosion, and they led like 8-1, and then 8-0, and then 9-1 in the game. And ended up loading the bases in the bottom of the ninth, which has been a common theme this spring training, where they're just loading bases in the bottom of innings, in the bottom of the ninth inning, and like winning by the hairs on their chinny chin chin. Jazz hit a bomb in this game. He's starting to wake up offensively kind of at the right time. He's been encouraging this whole spring with the swings that he's taken. This is off Taijuan Walker. This has been encouraging this spring. Jazz has hit actually shockingly very well this spring. Well, not the whole spring. Other guys, this is Pablo Reyes, who is opening eyes. I wrote an article on, I think it was Wednesday night. Wednesday against when they were playing Atlanta. I wrote an article during that game about people who can make the roster. I don't know if Dom Smith is on there or not, to be honest. I think I did put him on there, which is kind of funny now. Because I did think like they were gonna he had such a great spring where it's like I can't envision him, not making this roster. I guess you know what? The Yankees need to be able to add Cookie Carrasco to the roster. And, they only have like one 60-man spot open right now. 40-man. They're going to have to put someone on the 60-day IL. That's what I meant by that. Let's see. Did I put Dom Smith? Yankees bench/DH. I did put Dom Smith on there. I didn't put his stats, but I did put Dom Smith. There's Jazz again with a single, an RBI single, as you see on the screen. So loud contact the past several days is a theme that we've been seeing. A lot of loud contact, which is great. I love seeing loud contact. Hold on, I just have a John Heyman tweet about the Yankees. Just came across. Yeah. So Heyman just confirmed what I said, that the Yankees need left-handed, right-handed. Now I'm seeing someone just put out that they don't think Peraza is going to be on the opening day roster. I'm going to talk about Peraza in a second and why I don't think he should be, because I don't think he's done enough this spring. Cody Bellinger has been like almost impossible to get out this spring, and it's been awesome because this is a guy who, when coming over here, everyone's like, okay, great, they get their guy, they get Belly, but he struggled offensively like for a while now. He had that one resurgence here, and it's like, okay, well, Bellinger has looked fantastic this spring, therefore it's not an issue. Carlos Cookie Carrasco is another guy I just mentioned making the roster. He is a non-roster invite. He has an opt-out tomorrow. Carrasco went 5 innings, gave up 2 hits, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. His spring ERA is 1.69. Yeah, he looks like vintage Cookie. And yes, he's been pitching longer than my sister's been alive. But This is good because we're going to need as much pitching depth as we need. Not many highlights from that game against Atlanta. This is a big highlight from that game against Atlanta. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Airbender. That pitch in a game with no highlights, that game, that pitch had me gasping. I was like, oh my God. I was like, whew. Like that thing is nasty. As long as he can use it in the playoffs, I don't care. They lose 4-0. Mickey Mantle days from opening day. This is yesterday's lineup. Game got delayed. Jazz gets it started in the first inning with an RBI double. Should have been caught. That should have been caught by Heston Kjerstad. Free agent wide receiver Brandon Cook is signing a 2-year, $13 million deal with New Orleans. That's Schefter. Jazz RBI double. But that's not the last we'll see of Jazz. Here's Jazz's next at-bat with a 3-run shot. That thing was gone. Wasn't like a cheapie from Jazz. Neither of the home runs last night from Jazz or Volpe were cheap shots. Actually, none of the home runs last night from O'Hearn or Adley were cheap shots. And I felt like the teams were just like establishing like blows back and forth. It's cool. Will Warren. Let's talk about him for a minute. Will Warren last night, 3 2/3, 7 hits, 4 earned, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, 2 homers. Brings his spring ERA up to 4.19. All right, not the prettiest thing in the world. Let's look at it this way. Number 1, Will Warren gave up 4 runs on 2 hits. They just both happen to be home runs. That's 1. And 2, Will Warren got the win in the game. So while, all right, the line doesn't look pretty, and I noted this when I put the final line on, not his best start, but he leaves with the win. He left winning the game. So it's not like there's this big, like, to-do, okay, Will Warren, blah, blah, blah. All right, fine. The outing doesn't look pretty, but the Yankees offense carried him. And I'm not saying that's going to happen every Will Warren start. I'm not saying that Will Warren should pitch like that because that's unacceptable in every start. But look, he had a start where he didn't have his best stuff yesterday, and he was able to get out of it with a win, with winning the game. And he did get the win. Anthony Volpe with an absolute no-doubter to left center. That thing cleared the went into like over the fence in Sarasota. That's fantastic. So this is great. This is really good then. And what I say before, people are going to put the Dom Smith highlights up. Already done. Someone already did it. Yankees hold on to win 9-7. I have here some takeaways. So I posted this on my professional X. I also, and Threads and all that. I also posted it on here. I'm going to increase so you guys can probably see that better. Just got another message. Hold on. All right, so takeaways. Jazz and Volpe hit no doubt home runs off real pitchers. Tomioka Sagano, which is the pitcher that came over from Japan. I'm going to ask a question. Jeez. Hold on. Hold on. All right. Warren did not have a good start, but got the win, and I noted that. I'm sorry, I was just typing a message. Judge walked twice, struck out once. Judge, the strikeouts are there. They're always there. when you have a power swing like that, they're just going to be there. Dominguez keeps hitting the ball hard. He's hitting the past like 10 days since he started hitting. It's been very good. I'm going to leave it there with that. Hamilton made his first appearance and looked okay. The fastball, or the Slambio as they call it, was crisp. But when he got behind the count, he allowed those runners to reach, and I noticed it. He got 2 outs, and then Jackson Holiday with a single, but he was down 0-1, 1-0. And I kept noticing that as the inning progressed and guys kept reaching against Hamilton, and he allowed 3 straight singles and then got the final out. All those 3 straight singles he got behind the count on. So that's something. We're in the home stretch of spring, guys. We're in the home stretch. We're Joe Torre days away. This is the lineup from Lakeland today. Take Dom Smith out. It's TJ Rumfield getting the start at DH. I think batting in the same spot in the lineup. There is no progress on a righty bat for the Yankees. I just got confirmation on that. No progress on a righty bat for the Yankees, so that's something. I know they were looking, I think, for a righty bat, Pablo Reyes, and I'm going to pull up his stats right now. I know you just saw me refresh my X. I'm going to pull up Pablo Reyes' spring stats right here on the screen. He should be in the – is he on the active roster? Or is he an NRI? He's an NRI. Okay, so here's Pablo Reyes' spring stats. He's batting .324 with a home run, 11 hits. Wow. John Heyman, I have more breaking news. Cody Bellinger will bat behind Aaron Judge and will be the Yankees' primary 3-hitter per sources, batting .465 with a 1.301 OPS this spring, so not exactly a surprise. Per sources, what, you talk to Boone? Boone doesn't know what he's doing anyway. Hold on, I'm getting another text. My phone's blowing up. So Pablo Reyes, I'm going to make the screen a little larger. He's a righty. He's a second baseman, but I've seen him play some outfield, super util. This is a guy, I'm going to put this on my story from Heyman. I think we all figured this was going to happen. So there's the official text that he's out. The Yankees are so heavily left-handed, and I just got confirmation that they have not made progress on signing a lefty on a righty bat. Now, hold on. I got something else. Hold on. That he has 24 hours, I think, to opt back in. I don't think he's going to opt back in. Now, I've seen so many people commenting on the Vladdy situation, and I'm going to bring that up because I really haven't. Okay. So Gary Phillips is saying the Yankees have 24 hours to add Smith to the 40-man if they want, which can lock them in. I don't think they will. I think that the fact that they didn't opt him in already is kind of telling. Is Heyman gonna post this on here? Yeah. Oh no. Okay. If Heyman posts that on Threads, then I'm not gonna put that from him. I'll just put this on this one. All right. So Pablo Reyes is there. He's doing some stuff. Vladdy. Okay. Um. So I guess the Jays, Mark Shapiro met the media yesterday. Ken Rosenthal kind of, really talked about it. Mark Shapiro met with the media and was like, okay, the Jays really are trying to extend Vladdy. They think they have a really good shot. Sources indicate right now that we don't know if there are conversations. There could totally be. We don't know where the optimism's from. It could literally just be fake optimism, safe face with the media, all that sort of stuff. That's what I'm thinking, but I'm not going to speculate because I don't know anything. But interestingly enough, and this is why I'm going to talk about Vladdy, I'm going to pull it up. Hold on. Type it right into Twitter. It's going to come right up. Courtesy to Talking Yanks for this. Make sure my volume's on. Okay. So what that was is you'll speak to what teams are you going to speak to, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to speak to all 30 teams, including the Yankees. Now, he keeps saying, and this is not the first time, and the folks over at SNY, which I watch sometimes. It's a complete clown show, though. The folks over at SNY are clowns, and they're clownish. They really are. I mean, they hate the Yankees, and it's so biased, and you could tell. I know Salicata hates the Yankees because I can't listen to him on the fan in the mornings. This was posted a month ago, a month to the day, month and a day. Vladdy Jr. liked to post of him in the Yankee uniform. Look, I've spent some time thinking about this and really, really contemplating and thinking. Do I want the Yankees to aggressively pursue Vladdy next offseason? MLB Network thinks that, or Stephen Phillips, this guy, who I guess follows a lot of the guys I follow, so I'll follow him and get notifies from him. He seems to think that the Yankees are going to be the team. I couldn't tell you. I don't know who the team's going to be. I don't think the Mets are really pursuing. I haven't heard, and from people, I haven't heard the Mets name at all, which is kind of interesting. I haven't heard the Mets name at all in this, which is kind of weird because you would figure that they would want, Steve Cohen. And I also think that saying the Yankees name in this negotiation, I don't know if he actually wants to come here. And if I'm Hal Steinbrenner, the first thing I'd do is I'd call him up, and his agent's not Scott Boras, by the way. I'd call him up and I'd say, Vlad, do you want to be a New York Yankee? Kind of like what he did with Judge. And if he says yes, I want to be a Yankee, then you pursue. Because I honestly think that the Yankees pursuing Vladdy, it's going to turn into we need the Yankees to pursue him because the Yankees will drive up the price. That's what I'm afraid of for the Yankees. Because then what they're going to do is they're going to pursue him in a very big way, and then they're going to come out of it, and it's going to be kind of a Yoshinobu Yamamoto situation all over again, where, okay, You didn't get the player, and what was their pivot from Yoshinobu Yamamoto? Their pivot was Marcus Stroman. We can't have that. Now, the other one that people think the Yankees should pursue is Kyle Tucker. All right. I think he'd be a better overall fit. With that being said, the Yankees have the problem now, left-handedness in the lineup. Who knows how long Stanton's going to be out, if he's ever going to be ready again. And I know I saw the things. I don't know which player I'm thinking. It's either Soto or Verdugo that told him, I'm leaving Soto, that told him to make the adjustment with the bat and use the heavier bat. And now Stanton can't pick up a bat, so that kind of sucks. That's Kyle Tucker's a lefty, and Dominguez, is pretty much, he's a switch hitter, but he hits lefty. Bellinger, if he's still here next year, which I think he probably will be, he's a lefty. Other guys in that lineup are all lefties. Cabrera, his main side's left-handedness, and I think they're going to go with him over Peraza. Let me pull up Peraza's stats so far at the spring training. Now, he is playing today, so this is obviously before he plays today. He's batting 190 with 1 stolen base, 2 RBIs, no homers, 8 hits, 3 runs scored at 42 at-bats. It's not a small sample size, at all. You're getting now into the nitty-gritty where, you're playing big league games next week. Man, in less than a week, do you want Peraza to be your starting shortstop? I mean, your starting third baseman? I don't. I really don't. And, you could tell me, well, look at Anthony Volpe's spring stats. They have gone up since the last time I've done a video. I'm quite sure of it. He should be around 200, and he's at 200 on the button. With more extra base hits, more ribbies, more stolen bases, and more at-bats. 2 more at-bats. So it's the same sample size. Okay, he's starting to hit. You also got to remember, the start of spring for some of these guys, they were – why did I hit this guy? They weren't hitting because they haven't been playing. Let me pull up another one. Jazz Chisholm Jr. I think I passed him. If it loads, here's Jazz. He's seeing 214 now with 3 homers, 9 hits, 8 runs, 11 ribby, 1 stolen base. Him and Volpe are on the same tier right now in my head, where, okay, the first 3 weeks of spring training sucked, but since then, these guys have picked it up and have hit. And that's what I want to see. In terms of going out for a right-handed bat, they're not doing it. If they were going to do something, unless they swing a trade within the next week, which I don't see, because you know what? I could have seen a trade with Minnesota before Royce Lewis got hurt, but Royce Lewis got hurt, so why is Minnesota going to trade someone since they're trying? So right now, Garrett Hampson exercised an opt-out. Who's that? He's an infielder. Let's look at him from the Diamondbacks. Let's see. Because obviously these players on these opt-outs could also be a route that he goes, that Cashman goes. Or maybe I just don't do a team. Let's see. Because if he can play here, let's pull his stats up. Okay, he played center field. Has he played third base? Yeah, see, 289 batting average. He's a right-handed hitter. 11 hits, 0 homers, 7 RBIs, but 3 stolen bases and 38 plate appearances with a high on base percentage. I don't hate that, actually. What were his stats in the regular season? He played 113 games last year and batted 230, actually. And if I'd take that, 14 walks, that has to go up, 16 ribbies, no homers. All right, so there's no power. There is no power. But there's speed, and I like that. Now I want to see defense fielding. Can he play third base? Yeah, he can. He played third base 5 times. He played it twice last year. He's a utility guy. He's played third base 16 times in his career, 12 starts, with 106 innings at third base. Let's see how many errors. 0. 0 errors at third. I don't know what this guy wants. He's having a good camp, but he's out there. Minor league deal. You're a right-handed hitter. He can play third base. Seems like he could play third base at a good level if he had 0 errors in 106 innings at the position. It's a pretty decent sample size. With a 1,000 fielding percentage, that's pretty damn good in my book. You know what? I could see this being a Brian Cashman pickup. I might post about this in a few minutes. I could see this totally being a Brian Cashman pickup on a 1-year, minors deal, because his spring stats has been better than Peraza, but you can also move him around if Volpe needs a day, and that would allow Cabrera to be versatile. I think Garrett Hampson might be a good move for the Yankees, not going to lie. And you know what? It's not like he played like 4 games. He played 130 games last year for the Kansas City Royals, a playoff team. He played 130 games. Now, did he play in the postseason? Let's see. I don't remember him playing in this series against us. He did. He did play in the postseason. He didn't hit in the wild card. Oh, wait. Oh, batting. In the DS, he played in 2 games, had 3 hits against us, and 1,000 batting average. He had 3 hits and 3 at-bats. I was looking at fielding. My apologies. Okay, he still had nothing in the wild card, but he played in the playoffs. So, obviously Kansas City trusted this guy enough to play in the playoffs, and he hit against us. In the starts he had against us, he hit. Well, I wonder what games those were. Game logs. Postseason 2024. Okay, he played on October 5th. Had 1 at-bat. Open like a new tab. This is the game they won. So this is... oh, wait, no, we won this game. I can't look at so in a Met uniform. It kills me. Okay, so this is game 1. That's game 1. And then that means he played in game 3 in Kansas City. Or game 2 against us? Oh, no, this is game 2 against us. They won 4-3 or 4-2, yeah. Okay, so he played in the first 2 games. Did he start? He started. That's right. They did the whole platoon thing. All right. But that's an opportunity. You know what? This isn't a bad thing. I think Cashman should go get this guy. I really do. I might post that right now. All right, I'm going to get out of here, post that up on socials. Thank you so much for the support. Like, follow, subscribe, follow me on X, Threads, all the apps. Have a great day. Let's go Yankees.